Hello and welcome to the Cave Mods video on installing your windshield bracket upgrades. So if you've been driving an Element for a while, you either had this happen to you or you know of someone who's had it happen to them when the two pieces of trim, the windshield trim, that are on either side of the windshield have these 5 sets of overly complicated brackets. Each one made, or clips you could call them as well, and they are each one made of 3 different pieces. This gray piece, this green one, and the white one that sits in there. And what ends up happening, especially as the car gets older and it's beat up under the sun, these plastics get weak. Vibrations, wind, etc. will loosen them up, and once wind gets under this piece, it can fly off the car. And these are also a little delicate, so if you've had your windshield replaced, you had to take these off. The people who replace your windshield may not know exactly how to remove these safely, and they end up breaking things. As you can see here, there are these really delicate little hooks that end up breaking. Also, these black brackets end up breaking a lot of times. See, even the white clips themselves. This one, the whole side of it is broken. So they end up flying off the car, and you'll never find them again. If you're lucky, maybe. And they are expensive to replace. So I've come up with a solution, which if you're watching this video, you might already have the kit. If you don't, link is at the bottom. I designed custom and 3D printed brackets that are meant to fix this problem using magnets. These are printed in tough resin that should withstand temperature and vibrations. And they also have, if you look at them closely, they have all these teeth in there and little dimples in there, just in case you want to use glue, epoxy, to mount these as well. Give it a bit more surface area. Anyway, in your kit, you will have 8 of these brackets and 8 magnets. The magnets are directional, meaning they only have magnetism from one direction, and they are coated to prevent corrosion. So, the first step is once you've removed the trim from your car. If you don't know how to remove the windshield trim from your car, there are videos on YouTube for that, and I'll include a link down in the description. Just be gentle to not break the actual trim itself. If you break a couple of the clips, that's fine. We won't actually need them for this installation at all. These green ones may be left on your car, most likely. And you can leave them on the car. It's not going to hurt anything. Or you can remove them. It's basically a sort of keyhole configuration. You just need a little screwdriver to sort of pry up this little clip and slide them off. And you'll be good to go. Once you have your trim, this is a good example of a trim that came off an Element from the junkyard. And you'll notice some of the clips are missing, some of them broken. And the rubber is peeling off in a couple of places here. So if yours is in this condition, first of all, give it a good clean with soap and water. Next, once it's all dry, glue the rubber back on. And you can do this even with super glue. It might not last as long, but there are other glues. You can epoxy, you could use 3M automotive glue, whatever you choose to do it with. If at the top here, you'll notice that in this particular case, there is nothing here. There are supposed to be 2 little tabs that also, in theory, clip onto the roof trim and help this stay in place. They're unnecessary for this application. Again, if they're broken, no big deal. Once you've gotten it all cleaned up, you need to remove, or even before that, remove these clips. That is going to be helpful. Again, not 100% necessary, but I would recommend removing them. And to remove them, it's going to be a bit tricky. The easiest way to do that is with either a screwdriver or a little knife. If you're using a knife, be careful, please. And you're going to go in there and pry these little hooks to the side. Now, that's a little difficult to do when you only have one hand to do it with and one tool. I'm gonna, in this case, just break this off just to show you. Again, this is old, it's that delicate, it breaks off really easy. Once you've got it off, get this one off too, right? And you can slide the clip to the side. The side it slides to depends on which one it is. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 are the same orientation, and these two over here are the what would be the bottom of the trim, the bottom of the windshield. These are facing the opposite way. Anyway, slide it to the side, pick it up, slide it back out. Comes out. If these gray clips, these gray brackets, are in your way, all you got to do is slide them a little bit, and then you can get access to the white one. Be careful around these. These corners here are very sharp, and they will slice you. Anyway, once you've got it all removed and cleaned up, and the rubber glued back on, you're going to end up with a piece like this. Relatively clean, in good shape. This one in particular has had some of these broken off as well, so you'll never even get a clip back on here. You could glue it on permanently. That's a solution some people have done. So let's talk about how to install the upgraded brackets. Let's talk about the tools you'll need to install your upgraded brackets. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, a rubber mallet, an optional but recommended 16th inch drill. I like to use a Dremel or with a Dremel flex shaft. You don't have to, whatever you have, but a 16th inch drill. This would be used to drill pilot holes. And again, optional but recommended, I use JB Weld Marine epoxy to ensure everything stays on forever. What you're going to do first is you're going to take your trim piece and take one of the brackets. Place the bracket in the center. On the center, there's a raised little, almost like a track in the middle of this, right? It runs all the way down. You'll see clear, flat spaces in between where the clips used to sit. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these spaces. Those are where these brackets are going to sit. Place the bracket with its raised side, this one, with its raised side, that raised ridge, facing the long side of the trim. As you can see, doesn't fit in the camera all that well, but there is one long side, which is the inside ish of the windshield, right? This rubber piece will sit against the windshield, and there's the shorter side because of this diagonal here, which sits sort of on the outside of the car. This would be the bottom, this is the top, right? So place your brackets onto that track. It should sit there. It's a little loose, and that's fine. That's to allow for expansion and contraction depending on temperatures. And sit it down there in between where the clips used to sit and with the ridge facing the long side of the trim. Take one of the magnets, place it in there, and this is just a preliminary step. Take one of the screws provided, put it into the hole. It won't go deep, currently, right? And then just tap a little bit. That's it. With a rubber mallet. Do that to the second hole as well. All this is doing is just providing us with a little dot here to know where to drill our holes. Next up, repeat that process for each one of these 4 spaces. Once you've marked where all of your pilot holes are going to go, take your drill and drill these pilot holes. It's possible that you could place the magnets and the brackets on and drive those screws into the plastic without pilot holes, but I prefer to drill small pilot holes just to prevent stressing the plastic too much. Be careful not to go all the way through the outside of the windshield trim. And once you've drilled the holes, you're done with that. Now, if you wanted to use epoxy to ensure that none of this ever comes off, and I prefer that, I'm a fan of overkill. Take your epoxy, squeeze it out onto a surface if you need to, mix it together if you need to do that, and then apply it to this, to the inside of the bracket with a popsicle stick or something like that. Wear gloves while you do it. And so just carefully apply. You don't need a whole lot. Apply it to the inside of this, inside of these teeth here. If you wanted to put it on this surface, you can, right? And just coat all the surfaces with glue. Put it carefully back on. Put the magnet back on. Push it down, it'll squeeze some of the glue out. And it might even squeeze glue into those countersunk holes in the magnet, and that's okay. Take the screws, screwdriver, and with the pilot holes, they should go on fairly easy and snug without having to actually drive too deep. At the Swiss screwdrivers, screw it back in all the way, not too tight. Magnets are brittle, do not over tighten it. Also don't want to strip the plastic. Second screw in. Working with a screwdriver, which is made of metal, next to a magnet is going to be a bit frustrating a couple of times, but you'll get the hang of it. And that's it. If you use glue at this point, wipe off any excess glue, clean it up real well. You don't want any bumps of glue sticking up here on this surface. Repeat this for the next 3 until all 4 of them are in the correct orientation. Especially pay attention to the orientation. Again, the ridge facing what would be sitting against the windshield, the long edge of the trim. If you use glue, won't be able to fix that. So please test it out, arrange them as you need in order to ensure that you get it right the first time. And once you got all that done, you'll end up with this. You can see the Marine JB weld squeezing out of the sides here. That's okay, but the top surfaces are clean. It did fill in some of the gaps, which is not really a problem whether it's there or not, but this is never coming off. And that's it. You're done installing the brackets. Next up, just put them on the car. Watch the next video for that.